Hey everyone. For today's little tutorial, we're just going to mess with some grids and the plugin shortest walk, and you can get that at Food for Rhino. So let's jump into Grasshopper. If I can type it in, and let's just go over to here and let's play with, I guess, triangular for now, and then if we want to switch it out, we can later. And I'm just going to type in, let's start with just 55. We can just copy that one up. Give it two different variables for the size of it. All right, and then from here, what I'm going to do is type in XYZ. We're going to create a couple lines and give them some points for our closest point plugin. So let's go in the Y direction. Let's type in 15 for now for one of them, and we'll create a line from there. So connect to the points. All right, I'm just going to bring these forward so we get everything kind of organized. I'm going to make that line go the length of our grid. Okay, and then we're just going to move that line in the X direction. Okay, I'll just copy this down. Just move it over. And now we're just going to populate those lines with random points. And we need the points to be slightly different on each line. So we'll use different seeds. So we'll just type in populate geometry and plug it into here, plug it into here. By default, it's 100, so we might want to play with that a little bit later. We can keep them both the same. And then to create a different seed, so the points are in different positions, we'll just plug that 125 into the seed. Okay, I'm just gonna bring that all the way over here. All right, and then from here, we should get some random lines going from the X direction, okay? Now we can mess with the number and they're gonna be completely different, right? You get a really big mess really quickly too. All right, and then from here, we need to type in explode. We need to explode out this triangular grid. All right, and then we're going to just type in shortest walk. So the first one is just asking for the segments it can search from, and basically the shortest walk is taking each one of those lines and finding the shortest way through that grid to get to the other line, or the end of the line. And then this one's asking for our paths, and we'll have to flatten the curves here. Okay, and you can start to see what we're getting. There we go. So some really cool patterns start to emerge here. And again, we can mess with how many points we have, and then we can mess where the lines are going. So if we play with the length of the line, so if we go back to the Y, you'll see that they're starting to emerge more and more. Okay, so that's turning out pretty cool. What happens if we bring it low? Not quite as cool. Okay, so we'll bring it there. And from here, I'm just gonna type in move. I think this should work. We're gonna move each one of these a series, and then we'll make it a little bit more 3D. So I'm gonna type in length for list length. That'll be our count. And we'll just move let's just try 1 for now. And let's try 2. In the Z direction. All right. So 2 might be a little bit too much. So bring that lower. This is going to start to make it look pretty crazy once we start to add geometry to it. There we go. Very nice. I'm going to make it just a hair wider. So we'll go in the X direction. Just slightly longer. And then from there, we're going to have to mess with the line. Bring that out quite a ways. There we go, that's looking pretty good. Make it just a bit longer there. Awesome. All right, and then I am gonna random split list this into 4 different lists so we can add different materials to it. So we'll just go like that. We'll duplicate that down, duplicate it up. And then from here, I'm going to type in pipe. We're going to use mesh pipe, just like so. We're going to join the mesh together. And we're going to do 3 sides. And the radius is, let's say 2 for this one. And I'm just going to copy this down so we can have different radiuses 4 different times. Awesome. We'll just plug it into each one of these. Alright, we can just hide the rest of this. Alright, and 2 looks a little bit big, so we're going to bring it down just a hair so we can kind of see through it a bit. Maybe this one's really small. 0.7 might be a little bit big too. Is that? Oh, what's happening there? Seems like it's adding stuff. Very weird. What if we change the accuracy of this? Will that help? So it's adding geometry there, which I don't necessarily want. So let's add just a bit of a fillet on these, and that should clear that up. Just a mesh pipe error, I'm sure. And we'll just type in 1 for this. And we'll just plug it into there. There we go, much better. Awesome, awesome. And we're getting some errors, which is fine. We'll delete the accuracy out. That may or may not help. That's tricky. Alright, so the mesh pipe doesn't like that, so let's type in rebuild. Type in 3 degrees, and we'll turn this up to 155 for the points. And we'll just plug it back into our split list. There we go. Mesh pipe likes that. The only reason I'm leaving the fillet on there is because basically rebuild would turn that into kind of a softer instead of the jagged edge anyway. So, you know, we're basically just kind of allowing a little bit more control. I'm going to bring this as far down as possible. There we go. Looking pretty good. Yeah, I'm liking it. So I'm going to just mess with a couple of the sizes of these. We don't have, so that's 0.9. Let's do 0.5. I want density, but not crazy amount. And then let's just play with the length of the line. See if we get some different variations in there. And then we'll get over to messing with it a little bit in Rhino. If we go really tall, that's looking pretty cool like that. Yeah, I'm liking that a lot. All right, and then the smallest pipe, I might bump that up just a hair. There we go. Yeah, that's looking pretty good to me. So what I'm going to do is just bake this out. Just bake out the invalid objects, not a big deal. And so from here, I'm just going to rotate it. Let's see what it looks like in rendered. That's pretty good. All right, one thing I might do is just sprawl it out just a hair more. Okay, and then from here, let's add some materials to each one of these meshes. Maybe the first one is stone. This one is maybe dark. These concrete, for instance, doesn't matter. And this will be our lights. And then from here, what I want to do, I'm just going to mirror it. Awesome. That's looking pretty cool. What if we go to Arctic mode? That's looking pretty sweet right there. All right, so let's build a landscape. Actually, before that, let's just join the objects we know are the same materials so we don't have any issues in Lumion. And the other one should be fine. I don't remember what it was. Is it concrete? Yep. Okay, and I'm thinking this is kind of stuck in a huge hill. And maybe we'll mess with that swamp material in Lumion. Okay, I'm just going to explode this out. And let's just zoom that just like so. Type in rebuild. We could probably do 99, 99. All right, I'm just going to lock this down for now. And we'll do the brush select. I'm just going to go right up to the edge there. So this is going to be our rock layer. And like I've done in the past, just go back around to it. You can, go be messy with it, it's fine. You make it look a little bit natural. And I'm going to bring this a hair lower. And we're going to do the same thing. Maybe have some kind of tributaries coming in there. Awesome. Okay, we'll smooth it out. Maybe not quite that much. Still want some of the roughness happening. And then I'm just going to scale this in 1D so it's not too crazy. And what we need to do next is downsize it just a bit so it looks like it's stuck in there. Actually, we could unlock it, make it bigger. Maybe we'll scale that back up in 1D. There we go. And scale that back down since we got hills happening. Okay. Looking good. All right, and then what I'm going to do is just add in another plane. Just like that. And we're going to make sure our rock layer, I have to scale it again in 1D. Okay, so this is going to be our swamp layer there. So I'm just going to call that pebbles for now. This will be rock. And if we go into Arctic mode, we'll see if we're ready for Lumion. And I believe we are. So we'll hop over to Lumion. All right, so we have the model in Lumion. We'll start adding some materials here. Like I said, I wanted to use that swamp material down at the bottom there. I have to bump up the scale just a hair, which Which one looks better? This one looks a little too grungy. What's this one? Just soil. Might bump up the scale just a bit. What's that look like? I just don't want to see any necessarily repetitions happening too much through this. And we'll make this kind of a rock material. They have good for rock. Bump this up. Does it look good? Looks alright. I'd rather have some green in there. There we go. Bump the scale up on that. Then we'll infill with rocks along the edges there. And then for materials on here, might be a little bit tricky. So let's do, maybe this is glass. What about blue? That might look cool. That look pretty cool. Do various for this one. Use some aged bronze. And let's see. Maybe another glass. Does green look cool? Yeah. Yellow. Yeah, green's fine. And then for our lights, basically all we're going to do is make this a emissive layer. Pick any material. Let's bring that up so we get some brightness happening. And we'll see what that starts to look like. Alright, so let's add in some rocks really quick. Just along the edges here. I got any better ones. Probably could paint them in too. Give some variations to it. Go to the other side. We'll have to delete out some rocks at the top there. That's just because the brush is recognizing it on the actual model, but we don't want that. Right. I think this is going to be kind of a rainy scene, so we probably won't see a lot of the background here, so I'm not going to worry about this too much back there. Okay. Make sure we got enough rocks happening. Have it roll up the side of the hills there. Looking good, looking good. All right, and then let's just put a few out through here. Just kind of random ones. And we'll go through and just delete the ones on top there. Obviously, those wouldn't exist. So we'll zoom back here. I say those wouldn't exist, but this wouldn't exist either. So, all right, let's get some plants on the ground there. What kind of grass do we have? We can do something like this. Let's bring up the density. Get it all through there. Let's get some different variations of that. Just giving it some patches here and there. Okay, got to get the underside here. Awesome. I'm sure there's plants up top. Yes, there are. So we'll fix that real quick too. All right. That's kind of cool. Like our view's right in here, so I'm going to put a person in. Maybe a dog too or something. Who walks in a swamp? Can't ride your bike. I don't think you bring a purse to the swamp. There's someone just walking. This should work. Okay. Right there. Maybe she has a dog. And she needs to look like she's actually walking in a swamp, so we'll lower her. Her in the pooch. Alright. And we'll just add some birds. Get some bigger birds this time. Lots of birds. Alright, let's see what that renders out like. So I'm going to do a custom, let's see, let's do evening. And I'm going to sprawl this camera out so we get more of the landscape in there. Kind of flatten out the image a little bit too. Okay, get the 2-point camera on there. It's rendering out pretty cool. I still think the camera should be pretty wide. Might have to add more plants outside of here, which is kind of a bummer, but it's fine. Might raise it up. Yeah, it's looking pretty good. We need to add plants out in the distance, and we'll move that person outward. Okay, so we'll just paint all through here. Bring the density of that one down. Get some of these cattails in here too. Maybe a fallen tree, potentially. A few of them. Oop, that's a lot. Shoot. We'll just go through and pick away at some of them. Lumion remembered your select last like Rhino does, but fortunately it doesn't. Might take more time to kill these trees than actually do anything else. Okay. Alright, we're going to bring her back. Way back here. So we can see her in our view. Might have went too far back. Okay, we'll bring her forward. There we go, much better. Alright. And let's add some precipitation. Awesome. Looking cool. And I might just add just a bit of sun just to cast some shadows. So I'm going to bring this really, really low. Okay. Sun heading might not matter. That's looking pretty good. Let's go back to our real skies. And what if we change a couple of these? That's looking pretty good to me. Precipitation, I'm going to turn off all the, or at least the size, turn that down so we can see what we're working with there. That's looking pretty cool. Let's just try rendering it out. That's definitely what we want. We might want to change the direction so get some more shadow onto here. And I might change the color of that yellow area. So let's go to real skies and we'll do the heading a little bit different. That's looking good. Let's do FX. What if we do blue and red? Maybe like a pink. That could look cool. It's like CMYK. I like it. We can kind of see our figure in there, but I'm going to move her over just a hair. Kind of see her. Yep. I think that's going to be it. Might want to get this a little bit more centered, and I think we'll lift the birds up just a bit. So let's get that. Much better. Let's lift the birds up. If we added in 300 birds, we should be able to see 300 birds, right? And I might add in some more fog. Yeah, actually, its fog looks good. What happens if we add in just a little bit? That looks good. I think this would be ready for Photoshop. Try it. See what happens. Looking cool. Like a Vegas sign. All right, I think this is ready for Photoshop. Let's hop over there. All right, so let's see if the image filter, see if anything really changes that we like. That looks all right, but I kind of like the blue sky and atmosphere there. Which looks better? I think the blue looks better. Okay, let's just use our burn and dodge tool. Start to brighten some areas up. I wish we could see the human just a bit better, but that's totally fine. I'm glad we put in extra fog, actually. Okay, that's looking pretty good to me. Awesome. Let's add some vignetting, and we will be all set with this one. So thanks for watching, and I hope you all had a great week. And please, again, like and subscribe to Instagram, YouTube, and we will be talking soon.